Travel tips for your honeymoon.
Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Rebecca, this is Laura, and today we are thinking all about honeymoons. And because we're a bit cold right now, we are going to focus these honeymoon tips on more kind of on the assumption that you're maybe going to a sort of a hot, exotic kind of destination because, well, we're British, we sat in England, and that's what we like to fantasize about. So yeah, these tips are more focused around that kind of holiday. Some are obviously more general, but yeah, where they get a little bit more specific, you'll find we'll kind of focus more around that kind of holiday. So just so you know what you're getting.
So first up, before you even step in an airport, get packed, anything like that, you want to think and check if there are any vaccinations you need before going to your exotic destination. So this probably needs to be planned a little while in advance because some of them have to be done certain times before you go away. So yes, just check if there's any injections, any vaccines you need to travel to a particular destination.
When you start to think about packing and what you put in what bag and all this kind of stuff, I would highly recommend packing your sandals and your sunglasses in your carry-on bag or like your handbag, something that's going to be with you and not under the plane or in the back of the car on the way to the resort. So purely so that you can change into those like either in the airport or in that taxi on the way to the resort, because it's things like a number of times, like, you know, I've kind of gotten off the plane from my colder destination and gotten there, and then the room's not quite been ready yet, maybe a little bit early for check-in, but they usually kind of let you like sort of use the resort while you're waiting, but obviously it's hot or you're being blinded by the sun. So just having those things that you can easily then just whip out, you can, you know, get your socks, your shoes, your boots off, so your feet are nice and cool, and you've got the sunglasses. So they're like the absolute like kind of basic bits that you need to kind of just get you started off smoothly on your honeymoon.
If you're travelling from a cooler destination to a hotter destination, wear layers rather than like one big bulky jumper, so you can kind of strip off easily when you get to the other side. When you get to the airport, you can take off a couple of layers and then you're just comfortable putting on your sunglasses in your cool outfit. Exactly,
yeah. Especially like, also if you're in a situation where maybe your luggage is unfortunate and it doesn't follow you quite as planned to your destination, then you're not, again, they're melting for even longer if it doesn't come. So yes, so also along those lines then is, again, in that carry-on, in your handbag or whatever you've got with you, is having like an emergency change of clothes, underwear, that kind of thing, either because things happen on the aeroplane, turbulence and stuff gets spilled all over you. Definitely seen situations where somebody's sick on somebody, but just to really, you know, lower the tone here, I'm sorry. But yeah, or as I say, your luggage doesn't follow you and you need at least like one set of full change for the other end. So yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket and think, oh yeah, my luggage is going to come perfectly with me. Can get unlucky and you don't want to be kind of held up on your honeymoon. So that might be a bikini even, and then yeah, just one kind of light change of clothes, obviously like for the destination weather. And then, but also I do this on my return trip too, is have like a change of clothes for the return flight, even though I'm going home, and would have, you'd obviously have all your clothes at home, so it's not so much for the, if it doesn't follow you, but it is that kind of like airport problems, flight problems, you get stuck an extra day somewhere in transit, just pack an extra set of clothes.
Just be prepared.
Just do it.
And again, along those lines of potential for lost luggage, you might want to put something like air tags in your suitcase, just in case things get lost along the way. You might be able to see where it is, which country your luggage is in, etc.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the air tags, obviously they need to be near a phone, someone's phone, for the signal to bounce off. So they're not like 100% in being able to find where your luggage is. But I have multiple times, I do this, I put it in my checked luggage, and multiple times I have found it helpful because, you know, sometimes it can take forever for bags to come out, like in baggage claim, and sometimes, you know, you get like a whole load of bags come out and then yours isn't in there, and you're like, so I've been able to like do that and see that they're released in the country on the runway to kind of know whether I should just give up, fill up out a form and go home, or whether it's actually worth me standing there waiting for what was up to 6 hours once.
Oh,
but I knew, at least because the air tag, I knew it was there. So I knew to persevere, but yeah, useful.
Yes. A reusable, refillable water bottle. Restrictions are still in place, as far as I'm aware, that you can't take liquids through security. Water and drinks in airports can be super expensive. A lot of them now have water fountains, both sides of security. So take a bottle with you, refill it when you're through security. You don't have to pay. Jobs are good in. And also, in some countries, they also have free water fountains in areas that you can fill your water bottles up there, so you're always got access to some water.
Yeah, because you dry out on planes too, don't you? Like, you staying hydrated is key to be like starting your honeymoon off well. So I always do that. But yeah, you just need to make sure that you empty it out before you go through, and then you can refill it. Having a bottle bigger than the sizes they allow, that's fine. You can take it through, it just needs to be empty. Yeah. So yeah, just not to get that point confused. Again, in the name of getting through the airport swiftly, don't put your passport in a passport cover, or at least make sure you've taken it out of that like ahead of time. Don't be that person that's holding up a line because you're trying to take it all out. Maybe you've just got on one that, like a fancy one that says like Mrs. or Mr. or whatever on the front, and you want to use it, but yeah, you can't actually go through and use it in that way, so it has to be out of the cover. So yeah, be prepared.
And also be prepared with your liquids, so you can only take a limited number of liquids through security, and they have to be in a clear bag. So if you're super prepared, if you've got sandwich bags at home, pop all your little bottles and tubs of liquids in that already, so you're ready to whip it out of your hand luggage bag well in advance going through security. Yeah. And it just speeds everything up.
Yeah, again, please don't be that person. I'm fortunate that I do travel quite a lot. And I have my real bugbears, which is where a lot of these came from. And the number of times you're just stuck behind people, like the thing being when you get to the front is the time to start pulling out your liquids, or they think that they can just put their toiletry bag on, and you're like, no. So yeah, sorry, this video is basically about me wanting to get through security faster by speeding everyone else up. So yes, my next tip is about, for your destination before you set off, is pre-booking any ground transportation that you might need to get from the airport to your resort or hotel and things. You often can just walk up, and there's people with signs like vying for your attention and things to do that. But obviously the sort of how reputable and safe those kind of options are, as particularly depending on what country you're travelling to, the better way to go is always to kind of arrange that online beforehand, and especially as well when you're dealing with like language barriers, trying to sort all that out in person last minute is just very risky, in my personal opinion. So yeah, for like smooth sailing honeymoon, pre-book your transportation.
And thinking about when you're at your destination, you don't want to be worried about things like burning, being bitten by insects, so pack your sun cream, your bug spray, bite cream, any medication you might need before you go. You don't want to be out there enjoying your honeymoon and then having also to think about buying things like that, either from the resort, which can get quite expensive, or just having to venture into a town, breaking up your honeymoon time to go and look for things like that. Just have it with you. You can get travel sizes and most things, and just have it ready for any eventuality.
So I know we already touched on the water bottle front, but also for your destination, particularly if it's like a beach resort you're going to, what I've been seeing a lot when I've been in these places recently is that people are taking their own like travel cups, mugs, So even though obviously like the drinks aren't being made by you, like people are still handing those over, and in the pool people are there with their own travel cups. But also straws, so particularly with the beachfront ones now, because of obviously like the plastic and the pollution and the wind just like blowing them out to sea and things, like it's obviously a massive hazard, particularly for the water life. And so they're not handing out straws anymore, but obviously like the kind of cocktails you get at beach resorts are kind of like quite a lot of kind of like thicker ones that are kind of hard just to drink straight, you know what I mean? So you kind of still need a straw anyway. So I recommend like packing like one of your own like reusable ones that you can just like rinse out in the room, and keep taking down. I would do that.
Good tip. So some resorts might have a digital key system for you to get in your rooms. If you want to go like snorkeling or swimming, if you are going to that kind of resort, then you might want to ask for a physical key, just so you don't have to take your valuables down where they might get wet, might get lost, might get stolen. So you've got just a physical key that it doesn't really matter if it gets splashed on while you've been swimming, but you can then still get back into your room afterwards.
Yeah, sort of easier to zip into something that's on you and stuff, but yeah. And I thought like if you are going like somewhere where you're going snorkeling and that kind of thing, you might want to think about taking your own. I suppose we're more aware of it in kind of post like pandemic times and things about, you know, a lot of resorts they will give you the ones that go in your mouth, you know, just the simple ones with the tube and stuff. But I don't know about you, but it kind of, even though I know they're cleaned, it creeps me out a little bit. Like
I just don't like to think about it.
yeah, and I have done it in the past, but it does make me kind of go, ugh. And that was before the pandemic. But yeah, if you can, like, it might be worth just thinking about like taking your own, because you can get them the basic ones fairly inexpensively and shove those in your luggage, or even like water shoes. Again, I see quite a lot of people with them now, and it's just it's totally an extra thing. It's not an essential, but for a beach honeymoon, it's definitely a tip that I would do. I do it, and it's what like I wear them when I go out snorkeling, because you're dealing with the rocks that you're walking over, or just the beach walks as well. If the sand gets a bit less than perfect and stuff, it just makes life nicer.
And if you are going to be spending a lot of time on the beach, you might want to pack just a beach bag, something that you don't mind getting sandy, getting a bit wet, something you don't mind leaving with a few bits in, either by the pool or on the beach while you're going swimming. So just like a tote bag or a beach bag that you might already have, just something that you can like carry everything in down to the beach with you.
Yeah, and probably kind of a slightly oversized bag too, because obviously like they have like beach towels and stuff, but depending, it could be quite bulky stuff that you want to put in there and things. But now starting to like slightly think about the trip home. Sorry, the day has to come. But I would consider taking with you like a wet bag, so a bag that you can seal that doesn't essentially like let water out, doesn't leak. So if you're say on the beach, you're enjoying like you're having a final dip in the pool and things, well obviously that leaves you with a wet swimsuit, trunks, bikini, whatever, that you don't want to get all over everything else in your suitcase for the 12-hour flight home or whatever it is. So if you've got just a little wet bag, you can shove those things in, zip them up as much as you try and wring these things out. Seal it up, pop it in, and then you can like dry it out nicely when you get home, and the rest of your luggage isn't like got that musty smell when you open it up and things.
And finally, our last tip for this video is have your kind of wifey merch ready to go.
Yeah.
So you just got married, you're all excited, you might have purchased like a sweater or a t-shirt that says wife.
Sun hat.
Yeah, just something
like
just to kind of show off your newly married status.
Or even like honeymooning flip-flops.
So this is the time to put that on and just like so everybody knows.
Oh yeah, embrace
it. You never know, you might get some freebies, but we can't guarantee that.
At the very least, people around you will be like, congratulations and all that, and it kind of feeds into it all and it makes it quite fun. So those are our top travel tips for your honeymoon, at least to a kind of exotic, warm, you remember warm destination. We hope you found this helpful. If you've got any other like top travel tips that you think like everybody should know, please put them in the comments box below and help everyone move through security faster. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you could please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more content like this.